Hi, I'm Robert Gibson.
I'm Ricky Morton.
We're the Rock and Roll Express.
And you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/Wrestlegamer and Zephix TV. Also, WGS-TV is also being heard on SoundCloud as well. I am the Wrestlegamer along with the Studley Man Ashley. Jeff Keeling will be presenting the Game Awards later tonight. It's going to be live on Steam. It's going to be on YouTube. Pretty much, I think any internet-ready device that the Video Game Awards, including Steam, which I think is a first for them, isn't it, Ashley?
It's one of their first. It's been going for about, I'd say, a few days at least, if not a week, and people seem to be acting positive to it because it's basically people that are playing the game. It gives people that want to buy the game a chance to see what it's like in action and know what it's like. So for games that nobody's playing, it's a bit awkward for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, it's going to be. It's on all consoles. It's even, I think, on Nico Nico in Japan. But that is because, of course, these awards aren't just awards. It's trying to be similar to the old VGA, VGX approach that they've done over previous years.
Well, that's not put X in it. That's not put X in it because we can all both safely agree when Spike went to that VGX format last year, it sucked.
Yes, but the key thing is VGA and VGX had a similar process in the fact that not only did they give awards out for last year's games, they did world exclusive reveals on new games. So there's a dozen that they've said are going to be world exclusive first shows, including the unveiling of Metal Gear Online from Hideo Kojima. Or Hideo Itami, whatever you want to call him. Or Satoshi Kojima. Whatever.
Well, Hideo Itami is the guy in NXT.
And Satoshi Kojima's in New Japan, so, you know. Combine the two, you get Metal Gear. But one that sort of leaked out, which I don't know whether this is actually for the PlayStation experience, which is going on in Vegas this weekend as well, which there could be some big announcements there, but one that's leaked is a teaser trailer for Street Fighter V, which is apparently exclusive to PS4 and PC.
Yeah, I recently saw a trending topic concerning the Street Fighter franchise. I'm on Facebook. I didn't read as to what it was per se, but now that you say that, now that you bring that topic up, more than likely that's what the story is about right now, that trending topic about the Street Fighter V.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to be a PlayStation thing rather than the VGA, because I think what you're going to get with VGAs is probably Batman, Witcher, Uncharted, although that could be a Sony one as well, but it could be something different. There's going to be one game that nobody's heard of, which will drop, and people will lose their mind over. But obviously, I can't tell you what that is, because we don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys and gals, we're going to go ahead and preview the categories and give our thoughts on who we think is going to win in each category. Ashley, what's the first one we got coming up?
Well, first up, we might as well go through the 5 fan-voted ones, which have already been decided on, apparently. If we're going by whether the stats that I'm getting off their website is correct. So, for Best Fan Creation, the nominees are The Best Zelda Rap Ever by Egoraptor, The Luigi Death Stare, apparently by CZ Boy and Rizza Pickor. If I'm pronouncing these YouTube names wrong, then screw them for having stupidly pronounceable names. Mine the Diamond, which is the Minecraft song by Tobuscus. The map in Minecraft, Titan City, created by Colonial Puppet. And Twitch Plays Pokemon. The reason why I don't say who that's by is because we don't know who it's by. But unsurprisingly, the top 2 in that are Luigi Death Stare, and Twitch Plays Pokemon. Twitch Plays Pokemon is apparently winning, so congrats to them. I just find it odd that the Luigi Death Stare, which was put in the video game, it's just these two guys noticed it, I guess, or made it a thing. I don't know. Then we have Trending Gamer. The nominees were Evan Vanos Fong, Jeff Gerstmann, PewDiePie, Stampy Longhead, and Total Biscuit. On paper, this looks like an obvious win. From the stats that I have, which is epic, and I'm so pleased for him, apparently Total Biscuit's won.
Total Biscuit over PewDiePie, the most subscribed person to on YouTube?
Well, yeah, PewDiePie was third. Jeff Gerstmann beat him as well, apparently. If the figures are true that I have. They might not be, and it'll be PewDiePie just wins by default. I don't know. We'll have to see when it's given out.
I mean, because there are a lot of other notable gaming YouTubers out there, excluding yours truly, because I'm just now getting back into the trend of gaming on WGS-TV. But there are a lot of other more notable YouTubers out there. One that I definitely follow, which I feel in my mind should be mentioned in this category, but he's not, is a Markiplier. I know you're not a fan of Markiplier, but I've recently become a fan.
I like some of his stuff. It's just I'm not subscribed to him. Total Biscuit, he rips into games that deserve to be ripped into. And when people try and do dodgy copyright strikes on him, he basically states his case, and every time has won, apart from Sega being stupid with Shining Force, which you can find all the details about that from him on his stuff. But yeah, it's like the last few weeks, Jim Sterling came under fire from the developers of the Slaughtering Grounds. And he said, hang on, you sent me a review code, and I openly say that it's first impressions rather than a review, and the developers absolutely lost it in sort of a Patrick Bateman American Psycho mental breakdown. They changed, you know how they can post stuff on Steam blogs?
Mm-hmm.
They actually changed the name, rather than being the name of the studios, to I'm Jim fucking Sterling's son.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Wow. I had no idea.
Let's just say the negative publicity worked brilliantly for Jim Sterling. But not for the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there's a few names, but I'm pleased to see Total Biscuit ahead of PewDiePie, because although I'm sort of more interested now in PewDiePie, given that he said, screw Disney. He wants his own independent channel. I like that. I like that idea. So, esports team of the year. This is obviously a quick thing for us to go through, because neither me and Billy are esports fans. Apparently the winners of that are going to be Ninjas in Pajamas for their stuff in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Evil Geniuses from Dota 2 are second. Samsung White for League of Legends in third. Newbie from Dota 2 in four, which I think Newbie were either finalists or winners of the International, which is a surprise that they're fourth, but I guess it's popularity rather than success. And Edward Gaming was fifth from League of Legends. In terms of Player of the Year, apparently Matt Nadeshot Hag, who's a Call of Duty pro player, was a winner on that. Christopher Getright Alisund for Counter-Strike, GO. Martin Reckles Larson third for League of Legends. James Fireback Kostic fourth for Hearthstone. And Ju Fee Linson from Dota 2 was fifth. And then the one which I'm going to make Billy guess on. Most anticipated game. So the nominees here are Batman Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Evolve, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and Uncharted 4.
Well, the two that really stick out in my mind, and I think will probably stick out in everyone's minds right off the bat, would definitely have to be Uncharted 4 and Batman Arkham Knight because of the huge success of both franchises. It's very hard to discredit both of them, due to the success that both franchises have gone, especially with the Batman Arkham series as of late, and of course with the Uncharted franchise. They're both really well-known franchises, and a lot of people keep, anticipating as to which game will be coming up. What can they do to make the game more and more exciting? And from a personal standpoint, since I am a fan, I played more of the Batman Arkham series than I have of the Uncharted. I think I've played about a little bit of 1 and a little bit of 3. I'm talking about probably the online beta, multiplayer beta they had a couple of years ago for PlayStation 3 when it still had that. But I have to go with Batman Arkham Knight because of the fact that, like I said, from personal preference, I played a lot of the Batman Arkham series. In fact, I still have Arkham Origins I haven't played yet to do a Let's Play on WGS-TV yet, and I definitely do have that plan to do. But I gotta go with that. They really pull in a lot of hype, and if I have to guess for most anticipated game, I have to go Arkham Knight.
It was second to Witcher 3. That is how big and how much people want that game. I mean, when I was at the EGX thing in London, they had a 45-minute live demo. Nobody else had that. Arkham Knight had a 50-minute video, which is actually the video that you're seeing at the minute, the Ace Chemicals one. It's getting leaked out sort of episode by episode rather than in a full block, which I think is a weird touch, but I like it. Bloodborne was playable. Evolve was playable. Obviously, Uncharted only sort of got a teaser trailer at E3 just to say everybody, yes, this does exist. But Witcher 3, although we couldn't play it, it was like a giant screen. It had about as much seating as the developer section seats had. So much so that they had to have people, there was like standing room only. It's like a New Japan show, standing room only.
You know what?
So yeah, that's a bit ridiculous.
Based on that, I might start looking into the Witcher series myself. Doing Let's Plays on 1 and 2. And if it's getting
that's going to be an over 100-part series. You do know that, Billy. That's a big game, both of them.
Yeah, but like I said, if it's getting this much hype and this much anticipation, then it's probably worth looking into. If a lot of people are out there giving overwhelmingly positive reviews, it doesn't hurt to look into it.
Yeah, but also you're probably going to need the console version rather than the PC version.
Yeah.
Because I don't think your PC is going to handle it, because
probably not.
With Witcher 3, it's like if you want the best performance, you need about 4 quad cores. So it's ridiculous. That's gaming rig all the way, but anyway. So now we get to the ones we can talk about because other people have voted on it, not the fans. So weirdly, rather than do best strategy game, we come up with best remaster. So the nominees here are GTA 5, Halo Master Chief Collection, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, The Last of Us Remastered, and the definitive edition of Tomb Raider.
The one that sticks out to me most, because when it comes to games that have been remastered, and they also put a little hype into it at E3, if you remember what I'm talking about this year, is the Halo Master Chief Collection. I mean, Halo has a huge following. I'm not going to discredit the other games like The Last of Us Remastered. I'm not going to discredit the other nominees like that. I'm not going to discredit Pokemon. In essence,
you are, Billy, because Halo Master Chief Collection is the only one that still isn't functioning properly.
It isn't?
Yeah, multiplayer is still not working for everybody, which they're confused about because on their end it's working. But for most of the American and world public, it still isn't working properly. People can wait hours to try and get into a match, and it won't work.
Well, then on that note, I'm going to say, I choose you, Pikachu.
Really?
Yeah, because
Last of Us Remastered doesn't get your vote. GTA 5 in first-person mode doesn't get your vote.
I never played.
To me, it's
GTA
between
5.
them two. To me, it's between them two.
Well, if we're talking about games I played, I've never played the remastered version of Last of Us, even though before the whole incident that happened last year where a lot of all my games happened, I was in the middle, like right smack dab in the middle of the actual campaign of The Last of Us. I'm gonna go with that because, just based on the fact that I've played the original, I've never played the other one, Grand Theft Auto 5. I played GTA 3 a little bit because that's when me and Mick37, you know who I'm talking about, we had we ran into the guys that are actually having arguments about chicken and waffles.
Oh no, that was GTA 4. That was. Yeah, because GTA 3 was where it didn't look real. GTA 4 was when it looked a bit better.
Yeah.
So next up, best online experience, we've got Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Dark Souls 2, Destiny, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, and Titanfall.
That's a toughie. It's definitely a toughie in my mind because I used to be an online gamer. I used to be a multiplayer type of gamer, but I've kind of transitioned back into single player campaign type of games. Destiny had a lot of anticipation into it, a lot of hype going into it. A lot of people were looking forward to it. I've heard some people kind of say, it wasn't worth the hype, that the online experience really wasn't as pleasant as they thought it would be. The Call of Duty franchise is really well known for having some good online experiences. I've played a lot of the stuff from Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, 3, World at War was the first one that actually got me into the Call of Duty franchise.
Especially with this exosuit overhaul as well.
Exactly. And if I had to guess for anything, if Destiny doesn't get it, then definitely it would have to go to the Call of Duty franchise.
See, I think it could be a left field and they could go to Hearthstone. Because that's been pretty sweet and pretty good, actually. Because Titanfall, it was very limited at start. Advanced Warfare is certainly a strong contender. Dark Souls 2 will just suffer from the fact that people hack, not hack the game, but get into your game and ruin your game, which isn't a real good experience for you to have.
Isn't also more along the lines that game is a rage game? I think I've seen some people rage on Dark Souls 2.
Well, that's because they might need to level up their character a bit more. Because some of the enemies, you're not going to. It's like the very first time you get to the bit in Dark Souls 1, when you basically go into this building and there's a giant troll, and the whole idea is you can't fight the giant troll. You've got to skip past him and then come back out, because his weak point is actually if you jump at him from above. Because if you do that, you take away, I think, like a third or half of his life. So it's a strategy RPG more than anything. Online, I don't know in that aspect, but that's sort of aside from the online experience stuff. So next up, weirdly, best sports / racing game. Because apparently you can't combine two.
But what we got?
Or is we're hiding the fact that Drive Club was crap? The crew didn't come out in time, which is also, by the looks of it, is good concept, but online is crap, which is a thing we'll be getting to later. And a few others, but we've got FIFA 15, Forza Horizon 2, Mario Kart 8, NBA 2K15, and Trials Fusion.
Wow. Every single game in this category I have not played. And I'm actually surprised to see a Mario title in this type of category. I'm actually also really surprised.
Why? It was most people gave it a 10 out of 10 as one of the games of the year.
Well, if they want to put it in that type of category, I would have to pick Mario Kart to win that. But what I'm really really surprised to see or not see is anything from NFL 2K15 or anything like that. You know, because basically the only sports we're kind of getting mentioned are racing and soccer. Well, NBA.
The NBA games have been very good though for the last 2 years. I think NBA won the last 2 years for best sports game, so that's got the reputation.
Yeah, but now they're going against.
So that could win.
They're going against a noted game like Mario Kart and the praise that it's been receiving from fans and gamers everywhere. It's definitely going to pull out to be a really tough contender for NBA. If they want to really pull out the win and get it for the third year in a row, then
I'm not exactly sure if it's third year in a row because I don't know how the categories were last year or the year before exactly, but certainly perhaps not in the Game Awards, but in other awards it's been winning the sports category, NBA 2K, so we'll see. We'll stick with Mario Kart 8 because I think it's obvious it's going to win Best Family Game because it's going up against Disney Infinity 2.0, Fantasia Music Evolved, Skylanders Trap Team, and Tomodachi Life. I'm surprised that Tomodachi Life is considered a family game, considering the advertising that's going on over here in the UK is, oh look, our dad is having an affair with a neighbour next door in Tomodachi Life. Hey kids.
Really? That's how they're plugging it over there? Wow. Wow. I've seen more advertisement for Skylanders in Disney Infinity more than anything, to be honest. But Mario Kart has also received a lot of advertisement over here as well. And, you know, I would have to call it between those three, but I would have to give a serious push to Mario Kart 8 to pick that one up.
Well, the other one, the thing is, Mario Kart 8, if you exclude the amiibo stuff that's now just been added, the other two require those stupid figurines.
Yeah.
So it's a $60 game, but oh no, you actually need to buy about 70 figurines, which cost in the range of $8 to $13 each. So it's like, yeah, we know where the Christmas present's going. Them figures that are only good for a video. Well, I guess they're not posable, but they just could act as figures that you could put on a mantelpiece or shelf or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Best fighting game. This is one-sided and stupid at the same time. So we have Killer Instinct Season 2, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Ultra Street Fighter 4, so in essence, those three are all games that have already come out.
Mm-hmm.
Except they're in sort of new versions or updated versions. And then we have Super Smash Brothers. Except we actually have both versions of the game separate. So Super Smash Brothers is going up against Super Smash Brothers.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's good, isn't it?
Good. It's a headache is what it is. So like, I'm guessing like this is like different titles from different consoles, maybe like one.
Yeah, the 3DS and the Wii U versions. Yeah.
Why couldn't they count that as just one game altogether? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, 3DS has got different modes to the Wii U. So it could be, and also given the fact that Super Smash has been out for 2 months?
Yeah.
And the Wii U version has only been out for 2 or 3 weeks? And hell, we actually did a demo for the 3DS, which a lot of people were playing at the gaming convention. If anybody had a 3DS, they were just playing that Super Smash demo. That was it.
No, if Super Smash wasn't in this category, it would really be hard to go against the notoriety that the Street Fighter franchise has had. You know, it doesn't matter in what incarnation, the Street Fighter game has always been a really pleasant game to play for fighting games. Super Smash Brothers could almost be put on that same pedestal, in my mind, because there's always that great fluid movement, good character development, good game quality. I haven't played this new installment. I have not. I haven't got my hands on it, but it seems to be receiving a lot of positive praise from the gaming community. So I'm going to go for the 3DS version. I don't have a Wii U. I don't have any plans or designs on getting a Wii U, but I have a 3DS, and if that demo's still available, I'm going to try to get it, play it myself, so I can have kind of my own little hands-on experience, because I've played past titles of Super Smash Brothers before.
Yeah.
But, I'll look forward to it.
Just as long as Super Smash Brothers wins out of them, that's all that matters, really. I'd like it to be the 3DS one, because it is surprising how you can get Wii U-style graphics on a console that's about the size of a DVD case. And about the thickness of a DVD case, give or take. So, I'd like it to be that version, but we'll see.
I have the XL version.
Yeah. Yeah, but you haven't got the new one with the hard drive. Or the whatever it is. I can't remember. The new version, which is coming out next year for America.
Okay.
Best RPG, we got Bravely Default, Dark Souls 2, Divinity Original Sin, Dragon Age Inquisition, and South Park: The Stick of Truth.
I've seen so many videos of South Park: The Stick of Truth and the stuff they did. And you know what? I'm going to call that one the underdog to win that one, because past South Park titles, especially, when it comes to the video game industry, have been few and far between. And I think the last one was actually, I know they did like a Castle Defenders version of South Park, which I don't think did very well. I know they did a title on the N64, which was just utter. But a lot of praise has been put into the Stick of Truth, because they kind of stay true to the show. They don't kind of try to block up the graphics or anything like that. They do uncensor it, so yeah, there is a lot of cussing. There's a lot of nudity into it, but the other titles they did
a good RPG for a game that makes fun of an RPG.
Yeah, they did.
That's the weird thing.
But now, when you look at the other titles in the category, especially when it pertains to Dark Souls 2, we did talk about that just a little while ago, about how it's a good RPG. The online quality, might be called into question, but the RPG factor is really good in that. And so is Dragon Age Inquisition. I've played a little bit of Dragon Age Origins, and it is a really well done RPG. What was the other category? I know I'm missing one or two titles in this category.
Bravely Default for the 3DS and Divinity Original Sin for PC.
Bravely Default should be renamed Bravely Effing Hard Default, because I just got.
I'm pleased to see a RPG on a 3DS though make it in this list.
Yeah, but that game, I've got the demo, and the demo of Bravely Default is insanely hard. It's very difficult to level up on there. But it's very hard when you start out at level 1. You have to go against a level 27 creature every freaking time. But again, that's just my own personal experience with it. And the last one, I don't have any experience with Dark Souls 2. But you know what? Since it's the underdog, I'm gonna pick the Stick of Truth to win.
I'd like it to see. It's spoilers for later on, but Dark Souls 2 and Dragon Age are both in contention for Game of the Year.
But it's possible Dragon
So
Age will take
arguably it's between them two. So I'd like to give it to Dragon Age because I think let's reward developers that realize, oh wait, the game isn't ready. We need to delay it by a few weeks to tweak it. So I want it to be that. Why do I mention that? Because I've seen what's in our category for Best Action Adventure, which we'll cover next. So we have Alien Isolation, Assassin's Creed Unity, wink wink, Bayonetta 2, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and Sunset Overdrive.
A lot of notable titles in this category. Sunset Overdrive received a lot.
Yeah, one notable for being broken.
Really?
Haven't you seen the whole memes and everything of Arno kissing Elisa without a face because Assassin's Creed Unity is broken?
I didn't think it. I had no idea about that.
The best thing about that game is the first thing that they bothered to patch was the microtransactions. Before any of the graphical flaws or the problems or anything, or people falling through the world and having to desync. No, we've got to make sure the microtransaction systems is in good work. This is a trend, which is why I'm going to be very passionate about the category which we'll get to in the penultimate one.
If I were to pick a winner in this, as you said, Sunset Overdrive, Assassin's Creed Unity, I'm trying to think the other, what were the other titles?
Alien Isolation, and hints, the two that are nominated also for Game of the Year, Bayonetta 2 and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor.
If only they would have released Bayonetta 2 on all consoles, instead Nintendo got the rights to it. A lot of fans were, looking forward to it. I played Bayonetta. I was looking forward to the sequel until they announced it's on Nintendo, on Wii U only. I'm like, oh, it was like a big middle finger in our face. Like, hey,
not really, because Nintendo gave them the money to make it. Nobody else wanted to make it. Nintendo was like, we'll have it. So, if it wasn't for Nintendo, you wouldn't have had a Bayonetta 2 anyway.
Well, yeah.
To be thankful, bitch.
I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about Shadow of Mordor as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and make that one my pick. Just based on the feedback I've heard about Shadow of Mordor. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Bayonetta 2, but I've yet to get my hands on anything in this category, so I really can't say for certain what I feel should be the winner.
I'd like it to be Bayonetta 2 because I think this is probably the year of Nintendo going, we make games that work. And good games, because the amount of games that have got really positive reviews, even arguably since last December in Super Mario 3D World, which was 12 months ago, which got, I think, it sort of just about got Game of the Year nominations last year, even though it only really just came out. But yeah, some good ones there.
Alien Isolation would be a nice surprise. I've just started playing it. And graphically speaking, it looks wonderful. The dialogue seems to be really well. Nothing seems to be broken about that. I have heard, and I do feel the pain of a lot of players who say that that they can get angry quickly by being lost in that game, and it has happened to me. But it'd be a nice surprise to see Alien Isolation to take it.
Yeah, definitely. Best shooter. We've got Call of Duty, Destiny, Far Cry 4, Titanfall, and Wolfenstein: The New Order.
My brothers have played Wolfenstein. They really liked it. It looked to be a good shooter, and so did Destiny as well. They have that as well, and like I said, I'm just basing this off of what I see, but I would not be surprised to see Call of Duty take it because of the fact that it's a really noted franchise in this kind of category. But I kind of get the feeling you disagree with that.
Wolfenstein was an interesting reboot. It's not a brilliant game, but I think the whole concept of sort of the rewrite history thing, I sort of like. And of course the nice little Easter egg where you go for a night's rest and then you start playing the original Wolfenstein. It's weirdly awesome. But I would honestly say, from what I've seen, and I know there's been online issues with this as well, but I would say Far Cry 4. Just because of Pagan Min. Just that whole... I know people are saying it's Far Cry 3, but isn't that a good thing? Because Far Cry 3 was pretty damn awesome. Okay, it's set in a different place and everything, but I really am a fan of that series. I only got into it at 3, and I'm now realizing how good the first 2 were as well, thanks to GOG and all that. So I'd like it to be that. Titanfall would be a surprise considering it's online only. Destiny would be a surprise because it's online only. Because obviously that is, if you're with somebody that's crap, you're not going to get a good shooter. So I'd stick with the ones which are single player as well as multiplayer. So that's the 3 there, or the 3 that I'd go for out of them, and Far Cry 4 out of those 3. If I keep saying numbers correctly, it'll be really good. So, next up is an interesting one. It's the games for change. So I think this is like the thought-provoking ones, or the ones trying to, I guess, try and be about equality and things like that. Or... I'll go through the list. You've got Never Alone, which does have a name which I can't pronounce because it's Alaskan, and it's basically, if you've heard about it, it's the story of an Inuit's life with his dog. It's a really, really good game. The Last of Us Left Behind, which admittedly is DLC, but it's because that's where we get the proper revelation that Ellie was in a lesbian relationship, and quite a lot of people connected with her through playing that DLC, so I think that's why it's in there. Mountain, which I need to do some research on, while you all going through it, Billy. Also, This War of Mine, which only got released a few weeks back, but this is like, the World War II, well, not the World War II, the modern day shooters, like Metro Last Light.
Mm-hmm.
And you're fighting all the monsters off.
Mm-hmm.
This War of Mine takes the approach the other way around. You are the survivors and you've got to survive. And it says a lot that there is on the main menu, there is a button to donate to War Child. Because it's really an accurate depiction of what it's really like for that. And then finally is Valiant Hearts, The Great War. Valiant Hearts, The Great War. Valiant Hearts, The War. It's animated from Ubisoft, and it's stories of the First World War. And now I need to do the research on Mountain. Billy, talk.
Yeah, make it hard on me, Ashley. Why don't you? The Last of Us DLC is something I've always wanted to get my hands on and play myself, because of the fact that the game in itself, with the main campaign, was really, really, it's a very post-apocalyptic thing. A lot of people would say, even I have said it myself, very reminiscent of The Walking Dead in a sense, but it's just, you actually feel the emotion of the characters into it.
Breaking news. Mountain is basically, it's from the visual artist that made a mini game for the film Her. What it is there are no controls, time just moves forward, things grow and things die, and nature expresses itself. So basically, it's not a meta game, but it's on Steam. That's all I know. It's on Steam. It's available there, and the whole concept just is like, I guess, seeing what happens on this world. Because obviously, as it's procedurally generated, you don't know what's going to happen.
So, I'm going to have to say my pick will probably be... It's hard to say, because a lot of these games
It's on Steam for $1. It's on Steam for $1. And people are apparently bitching about it.
Wow.
Mountain. Wow. This is brilliant.
I'm gonna go ahead and until I check Mountain out, I'm not gonna make an assumption about it. But Last of Us has got a following. It's hard to deny that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that one take it.
To be honest, all of them should win. Because they're all really good games that deserve recognition. So the fact that they're nominated alone, I think, is good. Next up, best performance in a video game. Which is always good. So the nominees here are Adam Harrington for playing Bigby Wolf in The Wolf Among Us. Kevin Spacey for being Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. He's actually Jonathan Irons, but, you know, who cares? It's Kevin Spacey. Melissa Hutchinson for Clementine in Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Trey Parker for various voices in South Park: The Stick of Truth. What? And Troy Baker as Talion for Middle-earth. If anything, if you can have Super Smash in twice, have Troy Baker put in twice for Pagan Min in Far Cry.
Yeah, but...
Trey Parker don't fit in that list.
Yeah, in a sense he does not. Because, you know, they haven't as multiple roles, you know, wherein the other nominees, they actually had their roles. I'm really pushing for Melissa Hutchinson because, you know, the way that the gamers have been following Clementine over the past, and not just season 2, but the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, and the way that they progressed the story and they followed the story, and the way that Melissa Hutchinson has just been able to bring life into that character, you know, and voice that character and make us feel the emotions that Clementine does. I'm not saying anything bad about what they've done with the guy with Bigby Wolf, because I've just played the first episode of The Wolf Among Us, and that's a really good story so far. But I played more of The Walking Dead than I have of The Wolf Among Us, and I have to pull from Melissa Hutchinson there, Ash.
As much as I like Kevin Spacey, I'd actually want they might actually no Adam Harrington for Bigby Wolf, because Melissa Hutchinson's got the acclaim already. Harrington did a very good job in Wolf Among Us, and by the end of that,
All right, Ash, what's our next category?
best score soundtrack. So here we've got Christian Henson, Joe Henson, and Alexis Smith for Alien Isolation. Kuer the Pirate for Child of Light. Marty O'Donnell for Destiny. There's an irony there. Boris Salchow for Sunset Overdrive. And Darren Korb for Transistor.
A soundtrack into a game means all the difference. It helps set the mood, the atmosphere, you know, whether it be a horror type of a game, you know, it's not just the sounds of the ear, but it's the music that really helps set the tone of the game, the atmosphere for each title. And I'm only speaking from, again, just from personal experience, because I've played a first bit of Alien Isolation. I haven't played anything else from the other games, but with Alien Isolation, the way that they are able to integrate the soundtrack, the music, into the game to give you that depth, that feel that you need for it to be a true survival horror game is really well done in there. But I can't speak to the other titles because I haven't played the other titles. But that's just my personal experience with Alien Isolation.
To be honest, they all deserve to win apart from Sunset Overdrive, because I don't think that's... It's got a wacky soundtrack, but Transistor and Child of Light I'll also be... Okay, Child of Light is actually a Ubisoft game, but it's basically all but indie in terms of approach, using the Rayman engine, but that's got a nice soundtrack. Alien Isolation I really rate. Transistor, I just want Destiny to win because I'd love it. Here's Marty O'Donnell, who doesn't work at Bungie anymore. Okay, they settled, but still there must be a little bit of, why'd you fire me when I win awards?
Yeah.
Best narrative, so basically best narrative, best story now. So we've got South Park, The Stick of Truth. Yeah, notice, the first one starts with an S. Says a lot. The Walking Dead, Season 2. The Wolf Among Us, Season 1. Valiant Hearts, The Great War. And Wolfenstein, The New Order.
Season 2 of The Walking Dead was amazingly done. I mean, it was a brilliant way, and I can tell you this right now, if it wasn't for the Walking Dead video game, I never would have become a fan of the Walking Dead TV series. Because before the game, I couldn't care less about what they were doing with the Walking Dead on TV. I would see it on TV and I'd be like, I'd brush it off. Until I got into the video game. And I realized what a great narrative, what a great story that it does. And the same could be said from the other gem from Telltale Games in this category, The Wolf Among Us. It's an amazing story. The fables, the fairy tale creatures outside of their story, living a normal life, trying to go through a normal life and trying to survive it in Fable Town, and that too is an amazing story. But I'm more leaning. I would love to lean more towards Wolf Among Us if I played more than just the first episode. I only have the first episode done. I've done the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, and only season 2 is up for it. And the finish, there are multiple finishes to season 2, and I gotta lean towards The Walking Dead because of the way it was done in my mind in Telltale Games. Just like the Wolf Among Us, they have a gem in the Walking Dead franchise, and especially the Clementine story. And I know a lot of people out there are really looking forward, as I am, to season 3.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see Valiant Hearts win, because I think that was the game that made everybody cry even before the game came out at E3. Because of that dog in the trailer talking like, it's an old dog. And I think the sad story is the dog dies. I can't remember, but obviously technically everyone dies because it's a war story or whatever, but that was the one that I think has more poignancy, because Walking Dead will exist for years, Wolf Among Us will exist for years. Valiant Hearts Great War came out on the 100th anniversary of World War One. A war which really should have told us not to have another Great War, except it happened 25 years afterwards. So, I'd like it to be that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went to either of the 2 Telltale games.
All right, Ash, our next category.
So, Monument Valley is an obvious choice to possibly win Best Mobile Handheld, considering it comes up in Best Indie. We should have brought it up, but Best Indie Game, we've got Broken Age, Act 1, Monument Valley.
Jody ate his, Cody did not.
Shh. No problem.
Yeah.
You said it. Broken Age Act 1, Monument Valley, Shovel Knight, Transistor, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Trouble. No.
Hey, you just said Ethan Carter. You didn't say Ethan Carter III, who's finally responsible for the vanishing of Impact Wrestling on Spike TV. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. If you're a wrestling fan, you guys get the joke. Very hard to pick in this one because I've always looked at the vanishing of Ethan Carter. I've seen some videos of it. It looks to be a brilliant game, graphically speaking. It's a very interesting premise behind the story, too. And, because you're basically it's like an investigative type of a story. You're trying to discover something. I'm sure the details escape me at the moment, but that's pretty much what you're doing. It's more along the lines of investigation, exploration, that kind of stuff, mixed in with some paranormal type of stuff in there as well. The other games I really haven't heard too much about.
I'm surprised you haven't downloaded Shovel Knight for your 3DS yet.
I haven't. I haven't.
Shovel Knight is old school Mega Man style platformer.
I have to reconnect my 3D. I have to reconnect my 3DS to the internet over here. That's what I have to do first before I have a chance to do that.
The ridiculous thing about that game, of course, is I think it's only made by like 4 or 5 people, and the soundtrack's by one guy. It's on every major platform and has got plaudits on every major platform that it's come out on. It's done a better version of an old school game than arguably Mega Man did with 9 and 10, which is saying something. Oh, and also because I think actually 2 of the tracks were composed by the person that did the Mega Man soundtrack, as in the classic ones from like 2 and 3. They managed to get the woman that did the main music for that to do a couple of tracks, which is, I think, what we term bloody ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, but what we got up next?
Developer of the Year. I've been waiting for this one.
About that.
So we got Blizzard Entertainment, obviously for Hearthstone and I guess technically World of Warcraft. Monolith Productions for Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. Nintendo for God knows what, Mario Kart, Super Smash, Donkey Kong, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta 2, quite a lot of things. Telltale Games, which will probably be only just for Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us, because I think it's only those games that are being considered, even though, of course, we've just had the release of Episode 1 of the Game of Thrones game and Episode 1 of Tales from the Borderlands. And Ubisoft Montreal. Now, I know Ubisoft Montreal didn't do every game that Ubisoft has made this year, but to me, Ubisoft Montreal means Ubisoft. And that means games like Assassin's Creed Unity, games like Far Cry 4, games like The Crew, games like Watch Dogs, i.e. games that have a crap ton of problems. And to me, them being in there would, I guess, be like, I don't know. It'd be the equivalent of best performance by a wrestler and Heath Slater being in there. I mean, yeah, he's done good performances on his own accord, but it doesn't stand up to the rest of them. So, as much as I like Rayman Legends and Child of Light and Valiant Hearts and all the other games that Ubisoft has done, I have to cross them out just because of the problems that they've had over the last few, well, on their major AAA titles. Really. So then it comes down to the other 4. I'd want it to be Nintendo, because people ragged on them like crazy, saying, it's not worth getting. It's like, hang on, you've had 3, possibly 4 games which are must-plays this year, added on to the 3 or 4 that you've had from last year, and if you look at the first 2 years of Nintendo games compared to the first year of the Xbox One and the PS4, I'd say the Wii U has got a better range of games. Okay, there aren't that many of them, but some of the games that were... I mean, even the Wolfenstein New Order game, the next-gen version was actually the last-gen version, just looked slightly better. At least with Nintendo, the original games.
If Nintendo doesn't get it, I wouldn't be surprised if to go to Telltale Games, because...
they're the other strong contender.
Yes. Walking Dead Season 2, gem of a game. Truly enjoying Season 1, the first episode. Looking forward to doing the rest of the episodes of The Wolf Among Us. So Telltale Games has to be considered strongest contender aside from Nintendo.
Definitely. And then finally, Game of the Year, and some people may get angry here. Because in essence, it says a lot that this is the list for Game of the Year. And shows you how many games that should have been on here are disappointments or got delayed to next year. So we got Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor.
Run that list by me one more time.
Exactly. Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor.
Kind of an eclectic group to have for your nominees, to be honest. I would not be surprised for Dragon Age Inquisition to get it because of a lot of the hype that's been built into it. A lot of people have become fans of it. I myself, I'm a fan of it, even though I haven't necessarily completed it. No Shadow of Mordor, like I said earlier, has received a lot of praise from the gaming community. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. I don't play Warcraft. I don't know nothing about Warcraft, so I can't say nothing about Warcraft.
Well, it's a card game. It's a trading. It's basically Hearthstone is Warcraft's Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
And I've never played anything from Dark Souls, so I really can't say anything about it. And like I said, it's kind of an eclectic group of games that they put. I'm surprised Super Smash Brothers didn't make it for Game of the Year. With as many nominations as South Park: The Stick of Truth have gotten, I'm surprised that they're not up for Game of the Year. I'm surprised even Season 2 of The Walking Dead isn't up for Game of the Year. I mean, Season 1 won Game of the Year, I think just, 2 years ago? For the Spike Video Game Awards? And I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised not to see Season 2 considered for Game of the Year. And I think that's probably what you were going on for, Ash, when you said a lot of gamers would be angry in this category, because there are a lot of other titles that people feel that should be considered in the Game of the Year category that are not in the category.
Well, I'd say Far Cry 4 certainly is probably one of the ones that just missed out. Super Smash is, but the problem is if you're differentiating between the Wii U and the 3DS ones, I think that's the problem. If you have one in, you can't have the other, and then it gets problematic. That's because of the system that they've done. But the main thing is the reason why those 5 are there is because the games that should be there were disappointing. Alien Isolation has its flaws, I'll admit that. I still think it's a good game, but it's not a really excellent game. Assassin's Creed Unity, need I say more? Sunset Overdrive didn't appeal to everybody.
Are you surprised that Evil Within didn't get one nomination in anything?
that's divided critics as well. So that's the thing, because not everybody liked Titanfall. Obviously, Destiny isn't there because I think a lot of people have realised long term, until this new first DLC comes out next week, there ain't much to it. People have zoomed through before even getting to like level 10 sometimes, which is, not the best situation. But yeah, and obviously, where's Goat Simulator? That should be on here, especially as Games for Change.
Makes you think like a goat, that's for sure.
Well, that wasn't the approach I was going, but okay.
But as far as this group that we got, very, very difficult to pick. If I have to pick one out of this category for Game of the Year, even though I don't necessarily agree with it because I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of people, like I say, give positive feedback, and that's Shadow of Mordor. Simply based on the fact that Dragon Age Inquisition could be it. It could be. I'm not denying that. So,
for the CVG Golden Joystick Awards that happened about 3 or 4 weeks ago, which are completely fan voted, Game of the Year did go to Dark Souls.
Wow.
Dark Souls 2, well, Dark Souls 2 should I say, but obviously that's fan voted. This is by a panel of, industry experts and pretty much every reviewer under the sun that you can think of. There's like somebody from IGN, there's somebody from Kotaku, there's somebody from Kotaku UK, there's somebody from the Guardian newspaper, there's somebody from one of Germany's big publications, Italy, Australia, the Wall Street Journal. This is, if we're going for, authenticity, this is probably one of the best because it's a widespread of reviewers.
I'm still going to stick with Shadow of Mordor for my pick.
Yeah, that's my dark horse. I'd like to see Dragon Age do it because then EA will go, wait, people like us now? And BioWare will have even more pressure on them now not to screw up whatever Star Wars game they're working on. Because we know they are. It's just we don't know what it is. Because it isn't Battlefront. Because that's... or is it Battlefront? I can't remember. Whatever Star Wars game they're working on, there's a lot of pressure on them. That's all I know.
Yep. But anyway, guys and gals, that's been our rundown of the Video Game Awards. Coming up tomorrow, we're definitely going to, if I can get the opportunity, we're definitely going to talk about what happens tonight on the Video Game Awards, which games get it, give our thoughts on the actual show, and probably praise Jeff Keighley for probably doing a much better job than Spike did with the crap they called the VGXs last year. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys and gals. So we're going to know now from you guys out there, yes, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on each one of the categories we talked about, and which one do you think will take it in each category. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, be sure you hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/Wrestlegamer and youtube.com/Zephix TV Network if you haven't already. So for the Studley Man Ashley, I'm the WrestleGamer, Joe Beaverly Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.